Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. We're back with ranking Jojo stands. We are now going to the small town of Morio to rank stands. So first, we're going to be ranking the Morio gang. I did some research about who would be considered the Morio gang. So I'm going to consider Josuke, Okuyasu, Koichi, Rohan, Yukaku. Yeah, Yukako? Yeah, it's Yukako. And Mikataka because I didn't know where else to put him, and I think he fits here in the Morio gang. So first we have Crazy Diamond, also known as Shining Diamond. Uh, Crazy Diamond, Crazy Diamond's ability is that it can fix things by like touching it, not just by punching it, just touching it. It can also heal people, like it cures things as well. I think Crazy Diamond is an S tier. I really like Crazy Diamond. Personally, I like Crazy Diamond more than Star Platinum. Uh, I think the moment that sold me on Crazy Diamond, personally, is when it was Josuke versus Highway Go-Go, and he was like running, like he was driving the motorcycle, and a baby is coming up, and he breaks the motorcycle with Crazy Diamond, jumps over the baby, and like fixes the motorcycle and lands back on it. That was like so cool. And ever since I seen that, Crazy Diamond has been like one of my personal favorite stands, and would probably be like one of the top 3 stands I would like IRL. It's just its biggest problem is that you can't heal yourself, obviously. Next up we have the hand. The hand is pretty good. I really like its design. It's another like punchy stand like Crazy Diamond, Star Platinum, etc. with the ability to remove anything it touches with its right hand, I'm pretty sure. Uh, and we don't know where the thing goes, so I'm just gonna assume it's like cream and just sends it to a void. I still think the hand is really good. I think the hand is really good, personally. And is it S? Should I give it S? I think it's S or A or S, S or A or S, S or A or S. I'll put it in S because I do like Okuyasu. I do like Okuyasu. I think he's one of the. I think he is the best Jobro. He's the goat, honestly. So next up we have Echoes Act 1. This Echoes, all 3 Echoes, active Echoes have different abilities. Act 1's ability is that it puts a sound on something and it generates that sound. For example, he put like a ringing noise on Tamami, the light guy, and he started hearing the ringing in his head. That ability isn't that good, but if we're talking design alone, I think Echoes Act 1 is an S. I think Echoes Act 1, probably out of all the Echoes, it's probably my favorite design. I like the little bug guy. But its ability isn't that good. So I'm going to put it in B tier because it also could be used as like a recon stand because its like range is like 50 meters, which is a lot. And Koichi can also like either it's implied that he can see through Echo's Act 1, or Echo's Act 1 has an ability to relay what he's seeing. Next up we have Echo's Act 2. This is just a better version of Echo's Act 1, and it has the ability to like it's like a better ability of Act 1 where it can like write something on like an object and like that thing will happen. For example, when Yukako kidnapped them, he wrote like gust of wind on a door, and when Yukako touched it, like a gust of wind like blew her. And another example from that like arc is when Yukako was falling. Echo's Act 2 wrote boing on the like spike she would have fell on, and it boinged her up. I think it's a pretty cool ability. I think that ability is better than Act 1's ability. It's just I don't really like the design of Act 2. It's my least favorite out of the Echoes personally, but hey. Next up we have Echoes Act 3. Act 3 is the final form of Echoes, and its main ability is freeze or 3 freeze, and it just like slams things into the ground. We see him use that against Kira, and like his hand, and we also see him use it in part 5 against a car Giorno gets in. I don't really find that ability helpful personally, but I also am still like a fan of Act 3's like design a little bit. Yeah. I think Act 3 is a B personally. I think out of all the Echoes, Act 2 has the best ability because that's just a lot more helpful than, and it's also a lot more versatile than the other two.
Please, Daddy.
I told you, when I'm finished, you can have what's left.
There won't be any left. There's never any left.
I'm gonna go ahead and put it where everybody knows it's going, S tier. Heaven's Door is absolutely broken. Heaven's Door can like basically turn people into books and like read their life, and he also has the ability to like manipulate them. For example, like when Koichi was going to Italy to find Giorno, Rohan made it to where Koichi could speak like really good Italian or like perfect Italian because he opened up Koichi's face and like wrote it down. It's that good. S tier, like you could do so much with it. Next up we have Love Deluxe. This is the stand-up of Yukako, and this is just the ability of hair control. As someone who has long hair in real life, and has someone who has made like D&D characters who like use their hair as like their abilities, I personally like it. But is it better than like some of these stands in C tier? Like, would I rather have this in like Hermit Purple, Anubis? Yeah, I'm gonna put it in C tier. I mean, it's not really much you can do with hair, unless it's like large groups where like it's harder to like rip through it. But like, what if like I was going against like Magician's Red? Yeah, I think S tier. I think this genuinely might be the first stand I come back to because I'm pretty like I don't know. I kind of like it in B, but I also like it in C. Like it's a mixed match. I think this is a stand where if you ask me like on a different day what I think of it, I might put it in B, but for now I'm gonna put it in C tier. And last up we have Mikitaka. Uh, it's unsure even if he has a stand, so we're just gonna rate his power. His ability is that he can transform into objects. I think this is a pretty decent ability. It's just like I'm gonna put it in B because it's just you manipulating into it, and there's not really that much you can do with it other than. But I do still think it has potential, and I can also see its like versatility, like that you could basically just play prop opponent in real life. You can, but another thing, a bad thing in my opinion, you also feel the thing. Like if you turn into an object, you can feel like people touching you. Like when he transformed into a dice and was shaking, he like thought it was funny, and no, it tickled him. No, it made him dizzy. I think it either tickled him or it made him dizzy, and he threw up. So you can still like pee and like throw up and like spit like in it. but I think it's a decent like stand. Like I wouldn't mind getting it. So that is it for the Morio gang. We got some pretty good stands coming up in part 4 when we look at Morio's residence. Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. We're back on, technically in the video series, this is part 5, but or you could call it part 4.2, part 4.2, either's fine. But anyway, we're still in Morio, and today we're going to be looking at some more residents in the form of allies of the Morio Warriors. So I went to the Jojo's wiki, and I did some research, and I basically read every character that is labeled as ally. So in this video, we're going to be ranking Tamami's stand, Hazamata, Tonio, Shizuka Joestar, who's the baby, Shingechi, Aya, Yuya Fungami, and Kanadachi, which is the alias for Superfly. So the first stand we're ranking is Tamami's stand. It's just called the Lock. And what the Lock does, it's guilt entrapment. That's the ability's name. And what it does, you guilt somebody into doing something, or if somebody feels guilty about doing something, you could put a lock on their heart, and as the guilt increases, the lock can get bigger. And it also has a secondary ability of lie detection. It can detect lies.
Deshaun, did you steal that Fago from the gas station?
Hell no!
You lying?
Okay, but only because I'm back from Cash App.
I'll
We
phone
finna
him.
put you on house arrest.
Fuck that! I can't wear no ankle button on my Marys,
You lying?
my True,
You lying?
my Levi's,
You lying?
my Panda by Levi's.
I'll phone him.
Man, get this bullshit off!
I thought this stand was going to be a C tier, because it is kind of mid, but I'm going to bump it up to B tier, because just like the guilt entrapment, I think it's better than what a lot of people think. Like, you could, like, even what Tamami does in the series, he like tricks Koichi into thinking he ran over a cat with his bicycle and he felt really bad. You could basically just gaslight people. And I also think that the lie detection ability is also really good. I think it has a good place in B tier. Next up we have the Surface, which is Hazamata's stand. Surface takes the form of like a naked mannequin doll. Like, it's like a wooden mannequin, and whatever it touches, it can perfectly copy down to looks, mannerisms, sound, like perfectly. It's just the one problem is it has a nail on its forehead, and that's how you find like it's the clone over the real one. And I think this is a pretty good stand. I think you could do a lot with this. I think this is very similar to Kanome, Oingo's stand. Is this better? I think so. I think this is A, because it is pretty good. Like, you have the ability to copy anybody. Like, you could get away with a lot. Like, it can copy anybody. You could get into like special areas. Like, let's say you wanted to get into like a military place, you could use the surface and copy like a general and just get in. It's just a problem it does have is that I do think it is always wooden. I read on the wiki that there's a scene where Hazamata punches him and he like hurts his fist because he just punched wood. But I still think Surface is pretty good. I think Surface has potential. I think Surface, out of like everybody else in A tier, I think Surface is bottom A, but I definitely can see the potential. Comment what you think of Surface. Next up we have Pearl Jam, which is Tonio's stand, and this is all about cooking. I think Pearl Jam is an S tier, because basically what it is, it's healing food. I'm about to use a lot of examples with Okuyasu. When Josuke and Okuyasu went into Tonio's restaurant, Okuyasu had like a lot of problems, he had like an injury and like a cavity. That's like the two things I know off the top of my head. It's just the problem with it is that you like go through like pain. Like for example, with the tooth, like the tooth like fell out of his mouth and it regrew. Pearl Gem could be so useful in real life. You could help a lot of people and yourself with this stand. So I think it's S tier just for that ability alone. Also, Tonio's the GOAT. Next up, we have Shizuka Joestar, also known as the Invisible Baby, with the stand, I think it's pronounced a tongue baby. So this is just invisibility. I think it's B tier. Nothing crazy. It's really just invisibility from what I read on the wiki. I mean, yeah, not really much else to say. We're gonna move on to the next one. So next up we have Harvest, which is Shingechi. Harvest is a very unique stand as it is like a bunch of like ants, and if you harm just one Harvest, Shingechi is completely fine. And how Shingechi uses it, he uses it to get like things from like around Morio, such as like coins, and he like taps into like that hidden market. Even like Josuke pointed that out. Harvest can also be used in a multitude of ways, such as travel, and I also think that Harvest can speak, because I think when Shingechi was blown up by Kira, there was like that last Harvest. He was like, no, I'm wrong. Harvest can't speak. I'm misremembering. I still think Harvest is a pretty good stand. I would probably just use it to move around. But do we give Harvest A? No, not S. Ooh. A or B? Is Harvest A or B? I think Harvest is B tier. Yeah, we're gonna put Harvest in B tier. I think, yeah. Unless I'm misremembering something big about Harvest. I do like Shingechi though, don't get me wrong, Shingechi is the GOAT. Harvest is alright, I wouldn't mind having it in real life. Next up we have Cinderella. Cinderella's design is pretty cool. I like how it doesn't have legs. I think that's like a pretty unique design. Cinderella's ability is basically just body like modification / manipulation. She mainly just helps Yukako in like her face, like gives her like a prettier face. And she also gives Kira like a completely new body, which did lead to her death already. But you have to like know like about that stuff a lot. Now, if I had Cinderella, I would definitely use it because I'm pretty ugly. But I don't really know anything about that, so for now I'm going to put it in C. Like how would I what I would use with Cinderella? What I would do, I would just use it once to give myself like a new like face and whatever. And that would probably be it. I don't think I would be good enough to like be able to like open up a business with it. So yeah. Next stand we have Highway Star, also known as Highway Go-Go. And the user is Yuya Fungami. Now personally, I like Highway Star and Yuya. Pretty much Yuya is one of my favorite like minor villains in JoJo's, and along with Kareem, Highway Star is a personal favorite. I'm going to put it in S tier. Highway Star has a few abilities. Its first ability is that it can create an illusionary room to lure people in it. I mean, it's goofy, but I would like it. I mean, it's pretty cool. That ability alone is kind of like Tenor Sax. It can also split apart its body, as we can see, like in its little icon picture. Its like head is like opening. It gives you enhanced smell, and I think that's pretty good. Enhanced smell could probably go a long way. I think if enhanced smell would be like a C tier power, but I think that's like what Highway Star is. It's like a bunch of like low tier powers into one, and I think it's pretty good. And it also, and this is arguably its best ability, nutrients absorption. It can like touch people and absorb their nutrients, which is basically just like a siphon for Yuya. Because he got this stand while in the hospital, and he was sucking Rohan's nutrients while he needed it, and I think that's pretty good. And plus, just like I don't know what you'd call the arc, like just the Highway Star arc, where like Josuke has to like find Yuya. Like that's probably like one of my favorite arcs in JoJo's. I just like it.
If my nose is correct, one of you beauties is on your period. I'm right, aren't I? Who is it? It's me. That full-bodied odor you're whiffing is courtesy of yours truly, you dick! That's bullshit!
So yeah, S tier. Next up, we have Superfly. I am going to be honest, I think Superfly is one of the worst stands in the series. With its only good ability is that you could just permanently trap somebody in it. I think that is the only thing Superfly has going for it. Like, if going off the basis of Superfly, because Superfly's ability is that it's a tower, and basically once you enter, you can't leave it until someone else walks in. If you could like outsmart people, you could get like some like big JoJo characters like in this like trap Dio. Like what if Dio was trapped in Superfly? That'd be crazy. And you can't damage Superfly either because it repels the damage. But it's just you can't really do anything with Superfly unless like you just want to like just trap somebody in there for like ever. So I think Superfly is one of the worst stands in the series. I think it's worse than the Sun, personally. Or no, I think they're about the same because they have almost no versatility really. So yeah, I think that is it for this video. Be on the lookout for the next part where we're going to be taking a look at Morio's villains. Welcome back everyone to JoJo Stand Rankings. This is part 6? Yeah, this is part 6. We're going to be finishing part 4 by ranking the antagonist of Morio. We're going to be diving into Morio's evil residents. I mean, you can say a handful of Morio's residents are rather evil. Resident Evil. Anyway, first up we have Aqua Necklace. This is the stand of Angelo.
Yo, Angelo.
Aqua Necklace is water manipulation. It's got a very good range. It's long range. It's water manipulation, like I said, with like Geb stand, like the stand Geb. Water manipulation is good, and with its range, it's also pretty good. And it also has the ability to, if it can get inside of a body, it's got complete control of the body. And I think that's pretty good. I think this is an A tier. I think Aqua Necklace is just pretty fire. I think its design is pretty cool. And it's also pretty strong, and it can also transport itself between any liquid too. I say with all of its abilities plus its range, I think it's really good. So next stand we have Bad Company. I think Bad Company is very good. Bad Company is the stand of Keicho Nijimura, Okuyasu's older brother. And Bad Company takes the form of a bunch of it's like a little army dudes. Kind of like toys. Kind of like slightly bigger army toys. And it can take the form of foot soldiers and like vehicles like helicopters and stuff. According to the JoJo's wikis, it uses M16 assault rifles, and its bullets is enough to tear the skin and leave like a decent wound. and they also have landmines that can like wound a leg pretty severely. I think Bad Company is pretty good. I think it's also A tier, honestly. It could be a little versatile. I mean, it's a good guard stand, I mean, if not anything. Like, if you want to guard something, just put these dudes on duty. Oh, Bad Company or Harvest? I think Bad Company versus Harvest. Personally, I'm a pick Bad Company. So yeah, A tier. Next up we have Red Hot Chili Pepper. This is the stand of Akira Atoshi, and what this is, it's a lightning bird, and it can shoot. It can like control lightning, or no, electricity. My apologies. It's electricity. Uh, so yeah, it can just do anything with electricity, and it can also jump from like electricity, like basically from like a power line to another one. Like it jumped from a power line to an outlet in the Nijimura house, and that's how he kills Keicho, because he jumped in it. I think Red Hot Chili Peppers also A tier. I think this is another A tier, honestly. Its range is also really, really, really good. And I think, yeah, I think it's A tier. Wow, video is started, and we have 3 back-to-back A tiers. That's pretty cool. Next up, we have the stand Rat. I think this stand is C tier. This is the stand of the rat. It's used by 2 rats, and its name is like Eaten and Not Eaten, I think. Basically, what this stand can do, it shoots out darts that are like covered in like this strong poison that melt things pretty fast. And personally, I think that is just pretty mid. Almost no versatility at all. I don't think in the series it was ever shown like this thing melting like objects, just like flesh. Even if it could melt objects, I don't think it would leave C tier. But yeah, I mean, hey, for a couple rats, they were doing pretty good too, so they got a nice spot in C tier. Next up we have Heartfather. I think Heartfather is pretty mid. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in D. Heartfather is the stand of Kira's dad. What he does is, he's a ghost who lives in a picture, and he can interact with anything in the picture, and he can also like fly around like while in the picture. But in the real world, he's invisible. The only way to see him is through the picture. And I just can't see this stand being good, like, at all. Other than, like, lore, like, in universe purposes, like, all he did was just go around Morio and just shoot people or stab people with the arrow. I think Heartfather is pretty mid. I think it's Tower, or I think it's Superfly in some level. So yeah. Next up we have Boy to Man. Boy to Man is interesting. Boy to Man is a stand where you play rock, paper, scissors 5 times. First to 3 wins. And what happens is, every time you lose something. Like, I think in the first round, Rohan lost, like... Basically, you lose something, and if you lose all 3 rounds, you lose your stand. But every time you lose, the user of Void of Man gets that power through a hole in his cheek, and I think that is pretty interesting. But you have to go like for the inconvenience of like asking people to play rock paper scissors. Like, for example, you can go against somebody like Rohan, who would just keep saying like no, 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 go away, until he gets annoyed. And not only you have to do it once, you have to do it like 5 times at the very most, 3 times at the very least, hoping you win every game. I think for its power conversion, like the power manipulation it gets, I think it's a B tier. Yeah, I think it is B. I think it is B. because I think it's better than some stands in C tier, and I also kind of like the design of Boy to Man. So yeah, let's get to the next stand. Next stand, this is Stray Cat. Stray Cat is also another very interesting stand because the user is a cat named Tama, and one of Stray Cat's ability is that you're reincarnated as a plant. Now, if we're going off the logic of that, you have the stand and you die and get reincarnated, do you come back as a plant human or a plant cat? Because I think if we're coming back as a plant human, I think this is an S tier. Because even when you come back as a plant, you can still move around like a human and like do stuff, because that's like a part of its kit, is that like Stray Cat is a plant, but it can like move around and do cat-like things. But if we're coming back as a cat plant, I'm gonna move it down to B. But another ability of Stray Cat is air manipulation. And yeah, I think this is like another water manipulation situation, where air manipulation is like I think it's the second best element to be able to control. Yeah, I do agree with that. So we're gonna go off the basis that Stray Cat leaves you. We're gonna say you come back as a cat plant, and we're gonna leave it in B tier. But if a human would get it and were to die and come back as a plant human, I would put it in S tier. Probably like compared to everything else, probably on the lesser side of S tier, but still S tier. Next up we have Enigma. I don't remember the guy's name, but this is one of like the final villains of part 4 before like the big Kira fight. And what this does, you're able to trap things in paper, and you fold the paper to keep them there, and to release it, you unfold it. I think that is a very unique ability, and I also really like the design of Enigma. I think it is also pretty fire looking. Is this another A tier? I think it is. I think this is another A tier. Yeah, we're gonna put it in A. It's very versatile. Like, you could do so much with it. It's just you have to like watch yourself, and like if you put it in your pocket, like you're kind of screwed if you accidentally unfold the paper there. But I think it's pretty good. Next up we have the stand Cheap Trick. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in D tier. Cheap Trick is a stand that latches on to people's back, and if someone ever looks at the user's back, the user dies, and Cheap Trick goes on to the person who's seen the back. I think it's trash. You get no benefit from Cheap Trick. It's actually also programmed to be very annoying. Like, it's constantly talking, making noise, and bothering you. Like, it wants you to get rid of it, but it's going to kill you if you do. So I think out of every stand we've ever ranked so far, I think this is the worst one. Next we have Killer Queen. Killer Queen is S tier. Just design alone, Killer Queen is S tier. I like the cat design. I think it's pretty fire. And Killer Queen's ability, I think we all know what it is. It blows things up, and that's pretty cool. And just the way Kira uses it, it's pretty cool. It's just Killer Queen is like a goated like villain stand. It's like pretty good. It also deletes all the evidence. I kind of think that's like the whole point of like Killer Queen. Yeah, Killer Queen is goated. I think it might be out of all like the big villain stands, like the world, Killer Queen, King Crimson, like Sea Moon. What are some other ones? Oh, D4C and Wonder of You. I think Killer Queen's like probably my second favorite. I think if we're going off design, Killer Queen is the second, but ability wise, it would probably be my favorite. But yeah, I like Killer Queen. Like the video if you would pet Killer Queen. Next up we have Sheer Heart Attack. Sheer Heart Attack is a sub-ability of... It's a sub-stand of Kira, and what it does, it is a remote bomb that rides around on wheels, and Kira basically sets it on somebody, and its like whole thing is that it's never supposed to stop, and it's completely indestructible. It's just, this stand is only going to be good if you're a murderer. And personally, I've just never really seen the hype around Sheer Heart Attack. I'm gonna put it in C. But it's just like, Killer Queen is just so much better than Sheer Heart Attack. The only thing that is good about Sheer Heart Attack is its range and like its ability, like its invulnerability, like the ability to never like be destroyed. It's like always supposed to get the job done. I just don't really see the hype behind it. Alright, for our next stand we have Killer Queen Bites the Dust. Now, a lot of you might be shocked what I'm about to say, but Killer Queen Bites the Dust is fucking ass.
キラークイーン第3の爆弾バイツァーダストやったぞ発動したぞ
Alright everyone, welcome back to the hell? What? This is part 6. Hold on, what? I ranked these. Yeah, Aqua Necklace was A. Bad Company A. Red Hot Chili Pepper A. Rat was C. Heartfather's Butt D. Boy to Man was B. Enigma was A. Stray Cat was B. Cheap Trick was D. Killer Queen was S. Sheer Heart Attack was C. And then I ranked. Oh god damn it, Kira. Alright, dude. So you want my honest opinion about Bites to Dust? Bites to Dust is honestly pretty good. Bites to Dust's ability is that he puts a little miniature Killer Queen on like a non-stand user. His name is Hayato, or I think it can be put on anybody. And how Kira uses it, it makes it to where if anyone finds out Kira's identity, it bites the dust and resets the hour. I think that ability alone is pretty mid, like C tier. But if we're going off the fact that you can put it on anything and like change what it is, I think it's like pretty good. Maybe like A. I am thinking A because let's be honest guys, Bites the Dust has aura. So yeah. Are you happy with that, Kira? Alright, good. So yeah. That is it for Morio. And yep. I ranked all part 4 stands from Crazy Diamond to Bites the Dust. So yeah, if you want to keep following this Jojo stand rankings, because in the next videos we're going to be covering part 5, be sure to subscribe and hit that post bell notification for the next upload, and I'll see you guys later.